Welcome back, everyone, to the Rocky Mountain Tournament Expert Division, hole number 18. At last. So here we're going to be playing a APOC drive, setting up for a Grizzly rough bump. The drive is going to play P3 plus 10% max numbers. The spin is 5.5 top spin only, and you're going to play a full controlled overpower shot. No curl, all right? And so here we're going to be setting up at the bottom of the +3. So APOC 8, you'll have the white ring touching the left rough at the bottom of the +3. APOC 7, you'll have 1/3 of the white ring into the left rough at the bottom of the +3. And APOC 5 and 6, you'll have 2/3 of the white ring into the left rough at the bottom of the +3. 5.5 top only, P3 plus 10 max, no push up, full controlled overpower, right? So here, I play this with 6 topspin. Ignore that. I've tweaked it. We're playing this with 5.5 topspin. And it's to prevent you from rolling too long and being out of our checks that I have listed to the left, right? So I've got 2 checks for the approach. One, you're going to use the bottom of the white ring touching the green fringe line. So you'll be on the green with your target using the bottom of the white ring touching the fringe line. And that's going to be in line with the pin. And if you're not in that check, then you'll be either in plus yards or close to plus yards. And so you can, if you're really close to your plus yards, you can estimate where you're at. That's why I have all the way through -10 on that chart. So you can find the +1. You can estimate, that you're going to be about, 4 rings, 5 rings short of the +1. And then so you'll go to the -4, the -5. You'll play that slider value. That's for the approach. It's because we've got a crosswind, sometimes headwind, sometimes cross, sometimes strong, sometimes soft. The rollouts on the drive were different, and we can't really get those to settle in a small range. Sometimes you'll drive 357, 358. Sometimes you'll drive 367, 368, right? Just the way it is. That's why I got 2 checks. A couple of things to note about the approach. You always want to use 2 left spin. You never want to have your yellow ring. You don't want to be closer to the fairway on top than your yellow ring. So your yellow ring should always be completely in the rough. And ideally, you'll want to set up with the red ring or the blue ring touching the rough fairway line on top. Here, I'm splitting the red ring. But ideally, you'll want that red ring touching or the blue ring touching on top. You want the ball guide going through the center of the pin. And there's 2 elevations here that you'll have to play. And that's going to be determined by the percent slider you're set up at. So if you're set up anywhere from the 66% or higher slider, then you'll play the approach shot at P3 plus 15% at slider. If you're set up 65% or lower slider, then you're going to play the approach shot P3 plus 10% at slider. That's because we're not in the air as long, we're not getting as much wind push or wind resistance, and it changes the elevation for the approach. So pay attention to what slider percentage you set up at. That's going to determine the percent elevation that you need for the approach shot. One other note, if you're 65% or lower, then you're going to want to have the tip of the ball guide going 1.5 squares through the hole, basically 1.5 lines up, right, through the hole. And then if you're in plus yards, shorter rollout, then you're going to want to play the tip of the ball guide touching the line 2 lines above the cup, right? So you'll either be 1.5 lines above the cup or 2 lines above the cup, depending on the rollout on the drive. The shorter rollouts, you want to aim 2 lines through the cup. The longer rollouts, you only want to aim 1.5 lines. And again, that's due to wind push. All right. So I would recommend you practice this just to get comfortable with the different approach elevations, checking your slider, getting everything squared away, just being comfortable with the shot, because this is a really good opportunity at an albatross, and it's the final hole, right? And who doesn't want to finish with an albatross on hole 18? So practice this one a couple of times, get comfortable with the elevations, pull straight, hit perfect. I hope you grab that albatross. Wish you the best of luck. We'll see you in the next round. Take care.